announce that, right?
We ready?
Yep, and just before we start, when you do the votes, if you could do a roll call vote.
Okay.
Or say your name as you
I
vote.
got it. Got it. Ready?
Oh, yep.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our Leavenworth City Planning Commission meeting for Monday, February 7th, 2022. Roll call has been established. We have 5 of the 7 members who are present tonight, so we do have a quorum present. I have reviewed and looked at the minutes of our last October 4th, 2021. Does any commissioner have any comments or recommendations or changes to those minutes? If so, entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I move to have the minutes approved.
Seconded by somebody?
I'll second.
Thank you. Thanks, Sherry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Old business, none. Under new business, we have 4 things. 3 and 4 are related to the same thing with the Greenemeyer on that one. I'll come to that one. The first thing is election of officers. Second is review the bylaws. I don't spend a lot of time on the bylaws, so I've seen those. Third is a preliminary plot for Second Avenue State. Some of you have looked at that, and we'll get a briefing on that, as well as the same thing on 4. They relate to each other if you did not notice that. So the first thing we'll do is, with commissioners, is start with the election of officers. I will jump in there to say, when we had our chairman leave last year after doing a fantastic job he did, I agreed to step up this last year as chairman. I am prepared to stay on as chairman if that's the consideration of the commissioners. Jill Burke is not here, but part of the consequences of not being here, you can still be nominated, and we can keep Joe on as vice chairman.
Can't defend yourself.
Since I was in Texas, since I was in Hot Spring, Texas, and Arkansas last couple of weeks, and Joe took the meeting for me this last month, I will have entertained any discussion on election of officers. Joe, I think, has indicated that, Michelle told me that we feel comfortable that he would stay as vice chair. I am prepared to stay as chairman, so with that, I will stop and entertain a discussion for any commissioners.
I think it's great. I can't commit any more time than I already have, so, and I love you being in your position, so I'm all for status quo.
Thank you.
I have no problem whatsoever with the way things have been going, to be honest with you.
Same with me.
I think we should keep it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
If there's no more further discussion, I'll need a motion then for the election of officers for chairman, which would be me, Claude Wiedauer. Vice chairman would stay as Jill Burks.
Donald Homan makes that motion to keep the chairman and the vice chairman as the same as the previous year.
Thank you. I need a second on
second.
that.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Review of bylaws with Julie for staff report, please.
Okay, we didn't do a staff report on this. We just, we did hand them out. Just a couple of quick, changes in there. So in Article 3 under the meetings, we just added, that the planning commission shall meet monthly on an as-needed basis. Since we don't need to meet every month, just wanted to get that clarified. And then, let's see, what section is it? Section 6, just that the commission shall review annually the comprehensive plan. It did say review each January, and so we just wanted to change that to just sort of an annual thing instead of tying us into a specific month. So those are the only 2 changes. If you have any questions or other suggestions, we could do that. Otherwise, you can make a motion to approve those as noted.
Any commissioner have any questions, concern on the review of the bylaws and the changes recommended by Julie? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the changes as she has recommended to the commissioners. I need a motion to approve those bylaws as submitted.
I propose to approve the bylaws, rules, and regulations as written.
Thank you, Chris. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Sherry has seconded that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 3 on the agenda is consider the preliminary plot of Second Avenue Estates, 202203, sub 2604, South Second Avenue. We'll review that separately, or can we put them together?
We'll just do them together since it's the same
you.
project. We'll just talk about it at once and then
Okay.
2
Then
separate motions for.
Thank you. Then
the
I'm going to
preliminary
put that together and say that we will be discussing 3, the preliminary plot on Second Avenue Estates, as well as a final plot for the Second Avenue Estates on that one. Whatever commitment Mr. Greenemeyer had or Jeremy he's not present here tonight, so I hope there's no questions or discussion we have for him, but we'll deal with that after that. So staff report, please, on those preliminary and final plats.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as you said, this is a request for a preliminary and a final plat for Second Avenue Estates. It's an approximately 5.05 acre property, and the requested plats will subdivide it into 3 lots and 1 tract, along with the accompanying right-of-way that is shown. The property is currently zoned Plan Unit Development. It was rezoned to PUD back in 2003 for the development of some age-restricted townhomes. The project that's being proposed at this time is largely similar to what was proposed back at that time, so it does meet the PUD zoning that was approved in 2003. So I included the site development plan in your packet. That's not for consideration by you. That's not required. That's just more for your information to see what it's intended to look like. So the plat, as I said, includes 3 lots and a tract. The tract is for drainage purposes. Staff did review this at the January 13th Development Review Committee meeting. There were some items that were discussed related to stormwater, parking, and circulation. All of those items will be addressed by the developer at the time of building permits. Those are not items that need to be addressed with the plat. So staff is comfortable with the plat moving forward. So again, we've got 2 separate items, the preliminary and the final plat. They do match. The reason that we needed the preliminary and final is because they are dedicating right-of-way with this, and so that necessitates the preliminary plat. So if you have any questions, I can answer those for you now. Unfortunately, Mr. Greenemeyer, who is doing this project, had a conflict and wasn't able to come. Oh, and I will note that this is being developed as a low-income housing tax credit project or a LIHTC project. That had to go through a pretty rigorous approval process with the state. That has all been approved and is in that process. And so we've gotten to this point with moving forward with the plats.
Thank you. Bill, we had mentioned that you had looked at some concerns there, or some issues or concerns you have.
No, I don't have any.
Now that we've discussed that you brought us up to date with this, it meets the zoning requirements, the building permits and everything is in place, so I do not feel there's anything not in harmony or meeting requirements for approval at this time. Does any commissioner have any questions to Julie or concerns on what we're doing on this? Again, the 3 lots and the 5 acres. I think it's a good fit for what's occurring here. Anyone?
What's just out of curiosity, what's lot 3? What's on lot 3? Is that for future development? Or?
Yeah, that is for, let me get the development. Yeah, you can see they're kind of hatched in there in dashed lines. They intend that those in the future will be developed with some similar duplex units. At this time, they're only planning to develop lots 1 and 2. Once those are built and occupied, then they would look at moving forward with the units on lot 3. And lot 3 is where there's that existing single-family house right now, if you see that when you drive by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was getting kind of confused
Right.
with the, okay, all right, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Right. I was still looking at that.
And is this backs up to the Vilas Estates?
Excuse me, say that again. Vilas
Backs
Estate.
up to the Vilas Estates? Those
Yeah, I'm not sure.
apartments?
I'm not sure the name of the subdivision.
That's what it's called, the Vilas Estates.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that's what it was. Okay.
it backs up to, there's a subdivision to the north and the west.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the
And so those are
Evergy building right below it, to the south of it.
So there, you said 1 and 2 now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And you got 18 units, is that right?
Yep, I believe so, and each one is a duplex, so it'd be a total of 36 units.
Mm.
Any other discussion or concerns on these preliminary and the final plat at this time? Is it, excuse me, Sherry,
I have done.
you good? Is it then the role at this moment with what we're looking at of the planning commission then to either recommend approval, disapproval, or table it for additional information? And you need our final approval to send it to the commissioners?
Yep, so you will actually approve or disapprove,
Got
both the preliminary and the final. The city commission doesn't actually approve the plat. What they will do is accept the dedication of the right-of-way. So your approval of the final plat is the final approval, and then they just accept the right-of-way.
Okay. Does the commissioners need to approve them separately and vote for the preliminary and the final separately?
Yes, it'd be two
That's
separate
what I thought.
motions.
That's what I thought. If that's the case, again, looking at our 2022-03 sub, 2604 South Second Avenue, this is the one we're discussing on the agenda, number 3. I will take a motion. Their options are to approve this preliminary as submitted, to disapprove it, or to table it for an additional further information that we may require. So with that, I will entertain a motion for a commissioner.
I move we approve the preliminary plat
Okay,
as described here.
thank you on that, Bill. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Chris on that. Any further discussion before we vote? Because of this, again, Julie recommended, Bill, I will start with you as, Bill, cite your name and then your yes or no, your
Don.
vote. Sir?
Don Holman, yes.
Okay, okay. Don Holman, yes. Sherry?
Sherry Hines Whitson, yes.
Chris?
Chris Murphy, yes.
Bill?
Bill Law, yes.
Okay. Then that one is approved. Okay,
Did you
my
wanna
vote will be
vote?
yes. Okay, fine. Guess I don't have to break a tie, that'd be yes, 4-1. So, okay, moving on to 2022-02 sub, 2604 South Second Avenue. This is strictly the approval of the final plat that we just heard about for approval, disapproval, or table for additional information. Any further discussion?
But I have some questions about parking in this plat.
Okay, parking is actually not part of the plat, that's part of the site development plan. That's not part of the consideration for the plat.
Okay, but should we consider the park? I didn't see that they got parking stalls in here, but I don't see any.
They discussed it, it looks like.
Yeah, so again, that's one of those items that staff had discussed with the applicant, at our development review committee meeting, and that we would expect to see some of those issues addressed at the time of building permit. It's not a consideration of the plat. The plat is just the subdivision of the lots.
Yeah, okay? Yeah. Any other questions from commissioners?
No, sir.
If that'll I'll accept a motion for your 3 options.
I'll propose a motion to approve the 2604 South Second Avenue, plat.
Okay.
That's what we're voting on, right?
The
Yes,
final plat.
yes.
The final plat.
Right, the final, right.
Yeah, the
We're-
final plat.
Final plat. Okay,
I move a motion to approve it.
thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, second on that by Bill. Thank you. I'll go through commissioners again. If you don't mind, starting with you, Don, on your vote, please.
I do.
Don votes yes. Sherry?
Sherry Hines Whitson, yes.
Yes.
Chris Murphy, yes.
Bill?
Bill Law, yes.
Claude Widar, yes. Okay.
Let me ask this question, will we ever see the plat with a parking and how much parking is required, or is that not part of our?
No, that's not part of the planning commission. So again, this was rezoned to planned unit development back in 2003. And so this proposal meets, what was approved as part of that rezoning. So you're not looking at that again, you're just looking at the plat.
So the city commissioners will look at
No, that's just all a staff level review.
review the parking requirements and stuff?
Yes.
It is a valid concern, and we've discussed that in the past with IMAC and things that have been converted. And when they're converted, how does that impact parking availability or impact other businesses? But again, as Julie's alluded to, it's out of our scope of what we're specifically reviewing at this time.
I remember the IMAX.
Yeah, that's a good example, probably.
But they built their own parking lot, so.
Well, that's when they have to get creative. I think some people, people voice concern on that, but that's another issue. Okay, this concludes the agenda for our Monday, February 7th meeting. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you.
Okay, and we do have an item for March. so we will see you all back next.
Okay, thank you.
March,
Thanks.
what,
Awesome.
It should be 7th.
the 7th?
Yep.
March 6th, thank
Isn't
you.
it?
Thanks, guys.
February and March dates are always
I
the
know.
same.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, because it's 28 days.
It's on,
Or is this a leap year?
I don't know.
I think it's 7.
That's good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
whatever that month, that first
Planning
Monday.
at 6.
Whatever that first Monday is.
Yeah, the first Monday in March.
It's March 7th,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, thanks for,
Thank you.
I
Yeah, those are good.
got
Yes.
tired
Yeah.
of the,
It's,
I kept forgetting to come back.
Well, you weren't alone.
it's been a minute since we've had meetings.
I was gonna
Everybody.
send you an email